Hey guys, I'm Jeremiah. Welcome back to How Games Devlog 2 of Photon, the indie game I'm developing around the idea of a light particle reflecting off of mirrors. Today we're going to be working on the standard enemy, the electron. So I have the electron scene here. We have the sprite, we have the hitbox, we have a couple raycasts telling the enemy when it should turn around, and then we have the basic script here for the electron. That's just for color mostly. Then we have the movement code, and then we have the respawn code. So I think it's important for enemies to always be at the same point whenever the player encounters them, no matter how fast they progress through the level. So if you have ever played a Mario game where you start the level, and whether or not you walk through the whole level or you run through the whole level, when you get to a certain point in a level where there's an enemy, it will always be in the same spot instead of it moving off screen the whole time. So I want the enemies to only move when they're on screen. And the other issue is when you die and you respawn, the enemies should go back to their original position even if they are on screen. So I have a somewhat working version of that here, and how I did it was by having this collision shape detect the player, and when it detects the player, then the enemy will start moving. But it's not perfect, because when you respawn within this area and this enemy is on screen at the same area as the checkpoint, like right here, they won't move, because the only way that they can detect other areas in Godot is by entering or exiting. There's not really an easy way to have kind of like a, you know, is in area. There's no function for that. There's either has entered or has exited. There's no is in area. So I'll show you kind of what the problem is, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to fix it. So here I am in the level, and you'll see there's no enemies on screen right now, but as I go to the level, this electron started right around this position, and then once he came on screen, he started moving. And you can see that better if I have the collision shapes on, and I'll show that in a little bit. But just for reference here, we have this electron, and we also have a flying variation, which does the same thing, only it's just not on the ground. So it has a little bit different movement code. Eventually I'm going to make a horizontal one, maybe even a circular movement one. But you can see they're both moving, and then if I hit one, now they go back to their original positions, but they're not moving because I'm within their detection radius, and they will only start moving if I exit their radius and then enter again. So if I go like this, now he starts moving. And see, this one over here hasn't started moving yet because I haven't entered the radius. And now he starts moving because I entered his detection radius. So I'm trying to figure out how to solve this issue. There's a couple of more difficult ways to figure this out. Like, you can use the is on screen, but that requires a lot of detection. Like, you have to make an entire box around the entire camera. Or you can try to use some other types of like complex functions. It's probably going to take a Google search. So now you can see I have the collision shapes on, and you can see this is the detection radius for that first electron enemy. So it's not moving, but the moment I enter it, then it starts to move. And the same thing for this one, but I don't think that one's collision shape is visible, but this one is. And you can see when I die, I'm within this detection radius, and it won't move until I exit and re-enter. Now it's time to search this. So we got lots of videos on how to make an enemy move. That's not really what I'm looking for here. Looks like we're going to have to go to AI for this question. Alright, we got an answer here. Let's see if Grok knows what it's talking about here. You need to ensure that it starts on a fixed position when they enter the screen. Only move what's on when on screen. Return to the starting position. Store initial position. Yes, I've done that. Track on-screen status. Visibility notifier or Area 2D. I'm using Area 2D technically, but not to detect if the enemy is on screen. Control movement, yeah. Handle player respawn. Reset the enemy to starting position when the player respawns. I have that. Signal for respawn. Yep, got that. Visible on-screen notifier. Notifier connect. Screen entered or screen exited. Visible on-screen notifier. Is that a node type? It is a node type. That would have been nice to know. Okay, let's try. What does this do? Where's the rectangle? What is... I would assume this is saying... Oh, I see. So let's just say something like this. I assume this is saying if this object is visible on the screen, this isn't the camera. Okay, let's just see if this works first, and then we can work on the respawning afterwards. So I'm going to turn off this. And now, I guess I'll just put it in the physics process. I don't really need a function. I could put it there, but just for testing, I can put it here. Is that correct? No. How did Grok do it? If visible, dot is on screen. Okay. Then move equals true. And triggered equals true. Now let's see if that works. I've only done it on the normal electron, so we can see the difference between that and the flying electron. Alright, so this is the normal detection radius, but it's not currently working because I turned it off. Oh, look at that. It started moving before I was in there because it was on the screen already. So what happens if I... Okay, so it doesn't stop moving when it goes off the screen. See, this one only starts, and it continues to move as well. But do I want it to stop moving when I come off the screen? That's the question. I mean, I guess not necessarily. It's not as important as when you first... And look at that, it starts moving when you respawn because it's on the screen. Nice. So I guess that would technically fix all of the issues. I just have to add it to the flying electron scene as well. How about we try it without the collision shapes? So the moment it enters the screen, it starts moving. That's what I wanted. And when I die, it will immediately start moving. Well, there you go. Thank you, Grok. Now I know that the visible on-screen notifier is a thing. Who knew? That's why this learning process is so important, because you get to learn stuff like this. And hopefully, if you didn't know that, hopefully this video helped you kind of learn how to do this type of system. So let's try the same thing over here. So I can just essentially delete these actually. And then put in the physics process. So now let's see if they both work. Starts moving. The other one is not moving yet. Now it is. And if I die, and I will respawn, they both start moving. There we go. Boom. So I guess technically I can also just get rid of this. I don't need this anymore because I'm not using it. Well, I think that will do it for this vlog, part 2 of Photon. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments on any of this code, or if I helped you learn anything, I would love to know. And I will see you in the next video.